Good morning everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving deep into the next chapter of early US military history. In our last video, we explored the very first official firearm of the US military. If you missed that, I'll link it for you. But today we're moving forward in time. Our big question is, what was the second gun officially adopted by the US military? When did it show up on the scene? And who was behind its creation? This story isn't just about a piece of hardware. It's about a young nation finding its footing. The ink on the Treaty of Paris had barely dried, and America, now an independent nation, was beginning the massive task of building its army and standardizing its weapons from the ground up. So, why was a second gun even necessary? The American Revolutionary War ended in 1783, but peace didn't solve all the problems. The new United States was left with a collection of worn-out, mismatched weapons. Many were old British Brown Bess muskets, French Charleville muskets, and various other firearms from different countries. This variety was a logistical nightmare. Imagine trying to supply ammunition and spare parts for dozens of different gun models. It was inefficient and chaotic. Beyond the practical issues, America needed to forge its own military identity. Relying on foreign-made or captured weapons wasn't just a supply problem. It was a matter of national pride and security. The first step was the Springfield Model 1795, America's first official musket. It was a solid start, heavily based on the French Charleville design that had served so well during the Revolution. But warfare was constantly evolving, and the US Army knew it needed to keep up. The Model 1795, while a crucial first step, had room for improvement. The demand for a more durable, reliable, and more efficiently produced firearm led directly to the development of the second standardized gun for the US military. And that brings us to the star of today's show, the Springfield Model 1816 musket. This firearm is historically recognized as the second major standardized weapon officially adopted and produced for the US military. As its name suggests, it was introduced in the year 1816. It saw widespread service for a very long time, from 1816 all the way into the 1840s. Its service period is fascinating because it straddles a pivotal moment in American history. It was used in the later stages of the War of 1812 and 4 decades after. Now, who made it? This is where the story of American industrial might really begins. The Model 1816 was manufactured at two key national armories, the famous Springfield Armory in Massachusetts and the Harpers Ferry Armory in Virginia. But it didn't stop there. To meet the massive demand, the US government also contracted private American gunmakers to produce the musket under strict supervision. This made the Model 1816 a truly all-American weapon, produced by and for the United States, marking a significant step towards military self-sufficiency. So why do we specifically call the Model 1816 the second US military gun? Well, the reasoning is pretty clear. First and foremost, it was designed to replace its predecessor, the Model 1795. It became the new official standard-issue musket for the entire US Army. It also incorporated several key design improvements over the first model, making it a more effective and reliable weapon on the battlefield. But perhaps the most significant factor was its sheer production volume. The Model 1816 was produced in far greater numbers than the Model 1795. We're talking hundreds of thousands of units. This massive production run signaled a major shift. It represented the transition from the early, somewhat improvised weaponry of a fledgling nation to the standardized, mass-produced arsenal of a more professional and organized army. Let's get into the technical details. What was the Model 1816 actually like? It was a Flintlock musket, which was the standard ignition system of the time. It fired a massive 69 caliber round lead ball from a smoothbore barrel. Like all muskets of its era, it was a muzzle-loading firearm, meaning the soldier had to pour gunpowder and ram the ball down the barrel from the front for every single shot. And of course, it was equipped with a socket for a bayonet, turning the musket into a deadly spear for close-quarters combat. Compared to the Model 1795, the 1816 featured some important upgrades. It had a stronger, more robust barrel, a better designed and more reliable lock mechanism. That's the Flintlock part, and overall, it was just a more durable weapon. The design also focused on easier maintenance in the field. A trained soldier could fire about 2 to 3 rounds per minute, which was the standard rate of fire for the time. This might sound slow to us today, but in the era of line infantry tactics, a disciplined volley of fire from hundreds of these muskets was devastating. The Model 1816 played a crucial role in shaping 19th century America. It was the primary firearm during a period of intense national growth and conflict. Soldiers carried it in the late stages of the War of 1812, in numerous conflicts on the American frontier as the nation expanded westward, and it was the standard weapon for both regular army units and state militias for decades. As I mentioned, it became one of the most widely produced muskets in all of early American history. But the story doesn't end there. One of the most interesting aspects of the Model 1816 is its longevity, which was extended through a major technological upgrade. As firearm technology advanced, the Flintlock system began to be replaced by the more reliable percussion cap system. Instead of relying on a flint striking steel to create a spark, a percussion cap used a small metal cap with an explosive compound that would detonate when struck by the hammer. It was much more reliable, especially in wet weather, because the Model 1816 was so well built and so numerous. It was the perfect candidate for conversion. Starting in the 1840s, tens of thousands of these flintlock muskets were converted to the new percussion system. These updated guns are often known as Model 1816 percussion conversions. This brilliant move extended their service life, and many of these converted muskets went on to be used in the Mexican-American War. The fact that the military chose to convert them rather than just replace them shows just how trusted and valuable the basic design of the Model 1816 really was. The impact of the Springfield Model 1816 on U.S. military development cannot be overstated. Its production helped establish and refine a system of standardized weapons manufacturing. It pushed forward the concept of interchangeable parts, a revolutionary idea that would become the hallmark of American industry. It also boosted the efficiency and importance of the government armories at Springfield and Harpers Ferry, creating a strong national supply chain for the military. In many ways, the Model 1816 laid the industrial and logistical foundation for the even more advanced rifles and muskets that would be used in the American Civil War a few decades later. So, to wrap it all up, the second official gun of the U.S. military was the Springfield Model 1816 musket. It was introduced in 1816 and was made at the National Armories in Springfield and Harpers Ferry, as well as by private American manufacturers. It replaced the first U.S. musket, the Model 1795. And brought significant improvements in reliability, durability, and production scale. It armed American soldiers for decades, through wars and westward expansion, and was so well made that it was later converted to keep up with new technology. The Springfield Model 1816 was far more than just a gun. It was a symbol of America's growing industrial strength, its commitment to a professional military, and its progress as a young, ambitious nation. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this look into America's second gun as fascinating as I do. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into military history. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.